Hello and welcome to the Parenting Roundabout for the week of November 13th. How is it November 13th? Time is going crazy.
I know, and Thanksgiving is like kind of early because it's like next week. That's freaking me out. Yeah.
All right, just a moment of anxiety here.
I'm
I'm Terri Morrow, and I'm here with Catherine Haleko.
Hello.
For a weekly episode to talk about parenting in a roundabout way, along with a little pop culture. So, Catherine, you give us your library find of the week every week, but now you're having to find the library?
That's right. We had to find a new library. So the library that I work for is currently living in a temporary location, which I may have explained before. The actual library building is being renovated, basically taken down to the studs and rebuilt. And so the library has been squatting. Not really. No, it's been paying rent, but it's been living in an old Best Buy store, which has been converted into a library. And that's the only place I've ever worked because it was already there when I started working there. And about a month ago, employees were informed, that some of the leadership had a few weeks advance notice on this, but the Best Buy location was taken by an actual, tax-paying retailer. So the library has to scram and find something else. So they did.
You and your free checkouts. Get out of here.
I know. We don't charge late fees. We don't charge fines. Anyway.
Communists.
So our leadership did manage to secure another temporary location, another big box, but it's smaller.
A
medium box store for us to live in for another year while they're rebuilding down our main building. So the library has to move, and we'll all be. They said that they're going to keep employing us and paying us, but the library is going to be closed to the public for about 7 weeks, and let me tell you, people are going crazy putting stuff on hold. Like
they want that next season of Chicago Med. Where's my DVDs?
The hold situation is insane. It's just, depending on what shift you work, you could spend almost your entire shift just putting things on the hold shelf. But that's going to go up over a cliff starting right away because it's now they can no longer list our location as a place to pick up holds. So it's going to slow down. But yeah, anyway, we are going to be involved in some way, unclear exactly what we're doing because we don't put books in boxes. That's a specialized skill. Like there's people who do this, and it's kind of, it's really interesting. One of my coworkers was like, I wish we could set up a time lapse and just see it all, because it would be very cool. Because they come through, we put as many things on the shelf as we have and as we can, and we, shove them all to the left so that, they're all next to each other as much as possible. And then they come through and measure and label every single shelf.
Oh, wow.
So and measure it, to the millimeter. How long is like the run of books or DVDs or whatever on this shelf. And then it gets, an identification code.
Wow.
And then they come through and they have special carts that they, move it from the shelf to the cart and like kind of shrink wrap it, I think, and then drive it the mile or two to the new location and then reverse it, put it all back, measure it again. And if it's different, put a little red flag.
Oh, wow.
And then we have to, part of what we'll be doing is going back and trying to figure out what the discrepancy is.
So this is like a specialty library relo.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
How does one get that job, and what is the training? That sounds like so much fun.
It's fascinating.
Oh
yeah.
my
I mean,
gosh.
this person, it's like one guy who leads, I guess he leads a team, but I think it's one guy who does the measuring.
I mean, you would have to have a particularly obsessive frame of mind, but I could do that.
Yeah. He works for a moving company, like a more general moving company, but there's like piano movers and there's library movers, I guess.
Wow.
So
who knew? Add that, children, to your list of, is there a college you go to? Is there like a library relo college that you can learn how to measure shelves and alphabetize them appropriately and just move from a big box to a medium box seamlessly?
And then back to the real library in another year. So, yeah, it's it's kind of fascinating.
That was a thing. I just assumed you and your fellow employees be tossing stuff in boxes and then having to reshelve them, and it would be a pain. But that's fascinating.
Yeah. We'll be packing up like the workroom, where we work, except not the computer. Like, because I asked that, I'm like, are we packing the computers? No, we are not packing those. There needs to be
a series about somebody who does that, and every week it would be a different library.
Yeah.
Not either a reality show or a drama, because he maybe behind the back shelves finds a dead body, or $100 million in small bills, or a secret precious relic just kind of stuffed in behind some
an unpublished
young adult
manuscript,
fiction.
Right?
Yeah, I think there's some potential there. I want to see that. I would watch that.
Yeah. So
CSI, library relo.
That's right.
And there could even be maybe a music video made of it with the stop motion of the thing being changed around. And then someday in the future,
it will show up on
people who can't dance all that well could have to
dance
to it.
That's right.
Let's move on, shall we? Let's relo ourselves to Dancing with the Stars music video night. Just because. Paula Abdul has been removed from her hermetically sealed box and put out here to be a judge. She was delightful. She gave people high scores when they needed them.
Right.
And I applaud that. Thank you, Paula.
Yes. And she gave, she is a dancer.
Smack her fellow judges, that'd have been okay too.
Right. She is a dancer, and she was able to give legitimate comments. So gotta like that.
Yeah.
And, boy, I felt that the troupe of eliminated pros was extremely busy. Like, they were in almost, it felt like they were in every dance.
Trying to see who that was doing that thing. I did recognize Emma at one point. I said, what's Emma doing there? Doesn't she have a partner? And then, Mauricio.
Not anymore. There were Emma, Gleb, Alan, Britt,
Brandon
Coco. They were all out there. Yeah. Brandon will join them soon, which I'm sad about. Like, of the people remaining.
Elimination. That was, I think, no more so shocked than Brandon. I think he was.
Yeah, he was mad.
Wait, what? What?
He was madder than I've ever seen gentle Brandon.
Lele was very graciously saying, I'm very appreciative of the opportunity. And Brandon's going, wait!
What?
Read that again. Are you sure?
Yeah. I mean, of the people left, I'm sad that it was her. I think that she deserved to stay over certain others.
But this answers the question we've had all season, which is, does she just have like so many billions of social media followers that she's just going to win this thing or what? Apparently not. Apparently, large numbers of social media followers does not equal large numbers of people willing to obsessively vote for you within a particular window of time.
Right.
Too bad.
But apparently Barry has those people? Like,
I guess so. We old ladies are very tenacious.
That still floors me, to be honest.
The other thing I wonder about is, now, we can wring our hands. Lele was good. So many people who are bad have stayed beyond her. But the judges underscored her all the dang time. They did not appreciate her at all.
Yeah.
They have some culpability in this, do they not?
Mm-hmm. I agree. Yeah. And I think that's what Brandon was thinking too.
And they've been lowballing her, and she's been perfectly fine.
Yeah. She's been good.
I would have thought she would have been one of the final four. Mm-hmm. But, if you don't get the votes and you don't get the scores and people don't demonstrate their caring for you, I guess, sufficiently, I don't know.
Yeah.
But too bad. She handled it well. Brandon needs to work on his game face.
Never seen him get so mad.
But
let's go back and talk about some of the others.
Yeah, and then I want to get back to the whole structure of this episode, which I thought was odd. But yeah, the individual things. I mean, I'm happy for Ariana and Pasha. I like Pasha. Would love for him to get a mirror ball. And Ariana is fine. I don't mind her. But the amount of obsessing she did about Brittany was a little embarrassing. I felt a little sorry for her. And also, wasn't Brittany's sister on this season at some point? Let me think back.
Was.
Let me think back. Yeah, way back in the dusty recesses of the beginning of this season. Was she buddies with her, or was she one of the people who are like, you were not nice to Brittany, you are dead to me? I don't know, but it's like all of a sudden she's all about Brittany. Okay. You do you.
Well, they always are like, oh my gosh, Brittany, my favorite. Whoever it is that they get assigned to them is their lifelong favorite. Usually.
I know. Some people do it better than others. I think Ariana needed to dial it down a little bit.
Right. Because then later in the episode, when the Backstreet Boy or the NSYNC guy, which one? No, it was from the Backstreet Boys. When he showed up, she was like crying because she got to see him. So.
You're an adult now. You can stop that.
Yeah.
I thought Jason and Daniela's dance was delightful.
That was really fun. And so did
Paula. So Paula is my favorite. And the rest of them can just go pound sand. What the heck?
Yeah, that was super fun. Because that's a fun video and the whole black and white and color. And that was really neat. I liked it.
Jason's been pretty good with the game face up till now, but he looked pissed when he was getting those scores.
Yeah.
Say what?
Right.
So, and I feel sorry for him because that was I wonder about all the jazzes and contemporaries and non-frame dances in this thing, but it has ever been thus. And so I don't know why some people have to recreate a video in a particular dance style and others can just recreate the video however they please.
Right.
But it's way more fun to watch the jazz, sort of.
Yeah. Yeah, we had basically 2 in hold, which were Allison and Sasha doing a quick step, and also Barry and Peta doing a quick step. Oh, and then there was a salsa and a cha-cha.
Yeah. And then the rest there was just all that jazz.
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought Allison did well. I'm happy for her. She seems to be getting a little better every week.
Yeah, especially, a quick step is hard.
Yeah. She was moving. And you could tell the difference between her quick step and Barry's quick step, which is sort of a medium step.
Right, like the big box store.
Yeah, right. It was a step. They did a step. A moseying step is.
But that allowed us to see the image of Bruno in a
never gets old
high cut bikini. Woo.
Which I feel like I've seen on this show before, but probably. You know what? You gotta keep reminding people.
Right.
And Barry saying "our Bruno" was delightful. And let's see, Charity. She seems to be getting less good. She was almost a professional at one point, and now I feel like she's less. At least getting scored less for sure.
Right.
And Sochi was adorable, but that was I don't know. That didn't seem to be. It didn't seem to be fair to compare that with, say, a quick step, because it was basically what was in the video, right?
Right. And they made such a big deal about how the hat fell off at the end and then you couldn't recover. I'm like, well, that was like 15 seconds, you know, like don't like lower her score for the entire, I don't know. Like, I don't think she deserved the scores that she got.
Yeah. But it also, I just felt like I would have liked to seen her do more. Yeah, it wasn't one of my favorite of hers, let me just say. I'll just say. And, but she's adorable. And
she is.
Will continue on to do well. And her hat falling off reminded me of many a marching band performance when my daughter was in band, and somebody's hat would fall off and they had to just march around it like it wasn't there.
Yep.
And that was once that happened and it was no longer a perfect performance, that was what you cheered about, was that they just marched around that hat.
Going.
Nobody went and picked it up.
Right.
They didn't do anything.
Right.
Majorette drops her baton and she just gracefully runs over and sweeps it up like she meant to do that. These are the things we look for.
That's right.
So, and I mean, do we really need to say anything about Harry and Riley? Harry and Riley were Harry and Riley.
Yes.
They were there. And the hate of them will be stoked every time somebody people feel was better goes home.
Right.
So, I say again, we posted the do not read the comments.
Do not read the comments.
Last week. It holds true. I think they should stay as far away from social media as possible.
Except they need people to vote for them.
They do. Well, just keep pumping it out. Just don't read anything.
Yes.
Put your thing. Don't read the comments on it where people say, why are you still there?
Right.
The instructions are very specifically vote for your favorite. They are not vote for the person who dances the best.
Yep.
If they wanted to say that, they could. People would still vote for their favorite. But still, you're being specifically asked to vote for the celebrity that you enjoy. And if you're there because you enjoy Harry, then you get to vote for him. That's the way it works. But it is getting to be a little bit of a grocery store Joe situation.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my gosh. I forgot about that guy.
Of somebody, and that was the same season as Bobby Bones, I think. And people, at least Bobby was trying and he was determined to win that thing. And Joe looked like he really wished people would send him home.
Yes.
He was getting more and more shambling every week, just like, please, I'm done. Can I go? So Harry's going to start being that guy. Like, why am I still here? It's embarrassing. Can I,
Right.
I've had enough. Thank you very much. Could I just go out the back door? Nobody will know. But they're going to keep him there, all those young girls who think he's hot. So, and fans, and Arnold's sister fans, of which I have to imagine there are a legion. Yes. So, anyway, the thing that seemed weird to me about this was you had these team dances at the end, for which they got points. You did this thing I hate where you give all 10s to the first group out, which seems unfair to me because the second group, either everybody's getting 10s or the second group is going to be not as good, which is kind of a bummer and a way to end your thing. Right. So the first team got all 10s. The second team came out. I kind of liked their dance better, but they got 37 instead of 40. Right. And then 2 of the 3 people in the bottom 3 were from the team that got all 10s. And the person who went home was from that team. So what the heck good did it do? Right. What was the point of it? If you can't use it to get somebody like Harry or Barry out, why are you even having the team dances? Did somebody miscalculate? I think somebody miscalculated. I think they meant to do it differently. Right, I don't know. Right. But usually the function of those things is to put a cement block around somebody's neck.
Well, and also to kill some time.
And it was Lele is the one they wanted to put a cement block around, and they didn't. They gave her 10s. She got 10s. She got the maximum points from that experience. What are you doing, Dancing with the Stars? What are you doing? I do not understand.
We'll never know.
Meanwhile, on the Gilded Age, we watched season 2, episode 3, which was called Head to Head. And this was sort of like one of those episodes where they're just moving chess pieces around to set up for the next great conflict. Right. So it just sort of stopped. It didn't so much end. It was like, oh, okay, it's over now? All right. But
I mean, you could hardly beat the previous week, mic drop ending.
We could not have taken another one of those. We are of delicate constitution.
That's right.
We just need to go look at some watercolor. I did enjoy the servant reaction to Turner turning back up as Mrs. Rich Guy.
Right.
The little Gladys's maid just practically, what? They had to take her downstairs so she wouldn't go, wait a minute.
Right. Yeah, the housekeeper is like, unless you're needed upstairs, the butler says, I think she better stay down here. Yes. Do not let her go back up there.
It was the appropriate reaction, however.
Oh, yes.
And I enjoyed Church's reaction. He knew something was going to be up, but when he saw her, he wasn't ready for that.
No, he wasn't.
Like, he kept serious while she was looking at him and then made that face.
Right.
And, she stirred up problems between Bertha and George.
She sure did.
I can't say if I were George, I would not have made the same decision not to tell, because what good could possibly come of it?
Right.
But now that it's been thrown back in his face, it's going to be difficult. I understand Bertha's feeling of betrayal as well.
Right.
But she has to suit up, babe. Come on. Snap out of it. You have to take this chick down.
Mm-hmm.
And right now you're playing directly into her hands.
Right.
You reacted exactly the way she wanted you to react. You're better than that, Bertha.
Although she did have to bring out the husband, she did have to bring out the George accusation on day one. She didn't have to.
Right, that's true.
She didn't save that at all.
She did not. And I hope that is an indication that she doesn't know who she's messing with. Mm-hmm. But, I have Alan Sepinwall's assurance that Bertha's going to turn into Walter White and mess some bleep up. So right now she's kind of back on her heels and sympathetic still.
Yes.
So.
But she found a way to, get her husband back on her, in her good graces without losing face. She gave him a task to do. And if he completes it, well, maybe she'll think about forgiving him.
Well, tough times all around.
Yes.
Or, what's the valet's name? Michael Cerverus. Poor Michael Cerverus.
Yeah, his name is either Watson or Collier, depending on who you're talking to.
Yeah. His son-in-law could have done worse.
Yes, he certainly could.
He's agreeing to set him up comfortably on the other side of the country.
Right, basically on the moon is...
Exactly. If he could have.
Not Europe, certainly not Europe. No, you must go to California.
Is there a place at the North Pole, maybe? Maybe a nice little igloo that he could have? Yeah, so that's, and he would let him know about his daughter and grandchildren, but not so much to see them.
See them or write to them or anything else, which, to be honest, is not all that far off from where he, at this point, all he could do was sort of stalk her from the street corner. So maybe getting a letter once in a while is almost better. I don't know.
He did really not such a bad deal.
It's not. So I don't, they're setting it up for him to decide not to do it. And he doesn't have any good reason not to.
No.
So
he enjoys being a valet. He finds it fulfilling.
Right.
So much better than being a banker.
Right.
Being able to dress another dude is his calling in life.
Right.
But he does have friends there. Even though it seems like, just start a new life someplace completely different. What do you got?
Right.
What are you got to lose?
Right.
He has some relationships to lose.
Right.
And also, it would be very difficult for him to remain on this show.
It would. It would certainly become more difficult.
Unless somebody else screws up and gets X'd out as well. And then
they have a whole
the Gilded Age West.
New society over there. Yes.
I would say Nathan Lane's character is walking a very thin line. He may be having a train ticket to San Francisco as well.
Yeah, he's got to make a choice.
Too soon.
They're going head to head, as they say.
Boy. And he's betting nobody saw him walk across the street, because that would be a piece of information somebody could serve up to Mrs. Astor.
That's right. That was pretty funny.
Yes.
he he made it clear that he doesn't know how to cross the street. He's accustomed to getting in the carriage at the door and getting out of the carriage at the door without traveling upon the street at all. So he nearly got mowed down.
Yes, that was amusing. And let's see, our various courtships seem to be moving along. Marion and Dashiell seem to like each other, and Marion has volunteered to take his daughter to
mother-daughter tea.
And Oscar seems to enjoy his new the new woman in his sights.
That's right, Maud.
That's good. Gladys, unfortunately, her beau that night was not
interested
for her.
Yeah, right.
And Aunt Ada and the rector seemed to be
and there was
seeking companionship.
There was a tease for the next episode in which Agnes basically said, like, how could you leave me after all this time? In a less needy way, in a more imperious way.
Right.
Like, well,
yeah.
She's not happy.
Well, all sorts of scandal afoot. You went to watercolors with the rector. Well, she wasn't unaccompanied. Marion has been busy.
That's right.
She's
going to tease.
Going to see plays. She's going to tease. She's sneaking around with her aunt. She's just doing all sorts of stuff.
Right.
I like her better when she's not when she doesn't have really that much of a plot. But she's just facilitating other things.
Right.
But
something
proved to be wrong with Dashiell to make him inappropriate, because she seems to like him. He seems to like her.
Yeah.
His daughter likes her.
Right. We'll have to find some way to stretch it out for a few more episodes.
We certainly will. And Peggy is off to Alabama.
Yeah, with a man she's not married to, and
warnings. Yeah, with a man she's not married to, and
in the South, in the Reconstruction South. Sounds bad.
I'm not personally looking forward to that storyline.
Yeah.
I would prefer to stay in New York with big hats and dresses.
That's right.
Opera wars.
Yes.
And that's the most important thing is who's going to buy a box here and who's going to buy a box there.
Gotta choose.
Prefer that to unions and the South.
Right.
But, they got to keep it meaningful.
Mm-hmm.
So, next week on Dancing with the Stars is Whitney Houston night. Okay? With guest judge Billy Porter.
That should be entertaining.
But more of, oh my gosh, Whitney Houston, I love Whitney Houston so much, I can't believe I get to dance to her music. Oh! Right. Everybody, calm down. And then, of course, they need to, take some chill pills in between weeks here, because after that, it's Taylor Swift week! Oh my gosh, it's Taylor Swift!
God!
I get to dance to her music!
With guest judge Travis Kelce. No, I'm just kidding.
No, actually, it's guest judge Mandy Moore.
Oh, is it Mandy Moore? Did they already say that?
Choreographer Mandy Moore, not the actress Mandy Moore.
Not the actress. Okay.
Probably there's somebody there who, I loved your music so much, oh, Mandy Moore, can I dance to your music?
Right.
But anyway, choreographer Mandy Moore.
I loved you and This Is Us. Nope.
Mandy Moore did some or all of the choreography for the Eras tour, so...
okay.
She's
makes sense.
A good connection to be on there as a guest judge. Also knows dancing, so will be a very, very interesting judge.
Right.
And why don't they just let her be the fourth judge all the time? Mm-hmm. Or Paula Abdul, if she's going to be.
Maybe she's like, I'll give you 1 week. That's it.
That's true.
That's what I would guess.
She's a busy girl.
Mm-hmm.
And the next episode of The Gilded Age is His Grace the Duke. So this is the Duke, who is a good friend of Turncoat Turner, and is coming, and we will be pretty certain that Bertha is going to
figure out something.
Make every effort to befriend him. Just because he's a guy in New York, and maybe he would like to have a ball or a luncheon or something in his honor.
That's right.
She's just, she's just the welcoming committee. No ulterior.
Very friendly. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Maybe he would like a box at the Met.
Yeah.
You never know. Gotta ask.
Sorry.
This whole opera thing is like, I have heard of one of these places. I have not heard of the other.
That's right. We know where this is going.
I kind of have an idea of the way this is going to go.
Mm-hmm.
So, Catherine, you may not have a library, but do you have Catherine's Library Find of the Week?
I do. I'm storing them up. So this week, one that I just discovered, and it's pretty new, although it observes a holiday that has since passed. But it is called Big Bad Wolf's Yom Kippur.
All right.
And it is by David Sharon, and the illustrator is Martin Moron, and the illustrations are wonderful. You know, this, of course, grumpy looking, mean looking wolf at the beginning, and it starts out like he wakes up mad. Someone knocks on his door, and he's like, "Oh, who's that?" He's like, "Well, maybe it's a grandmother, and I can eat her for breakfast and knock one thing off my list." That's how it starts. Uh-huh. And, it goes on. And of course, Yom Kippur is about atonement. And he eventually makes things right with both Little Red Riding Hood and the Three Little Pigs in the course of the story. And it is just a lot of, I really enjoyed it. I actually stopped and read it, which I can't always do. And I found a YouTube video where it's being read aloud. So you can see it for yourself.
Yes.
It's very, I don't think that there are very many picture books about Yom Kippur. No. I think there's probably some, and there's probably more about Rosh Hashanah, because that's more of a celebratory holiday. That's a New Year thing. Yom Kippur is, the day that you fast and atone for your sins. So it was just quite unexpected and really well done. So check out Big Bad Wolf's Yom Kippur.
Nice.
And we will link to it. And now we're going to take a spin through the archives and see what we were talking about 1 year ago, 2 years ago, and 4 years ago this week.
Okay.
And I'm going to start with 2 years ago. We talked about what's your mom flex, which I forgot we had done and was quite enjoyable. I don't think people are saying flex that much anymore.
No.
But still, we were talking about, things that we would risk jinxing in order to brag about as moms. And mine was at the time that we really didn't experience very much sibling rivalry with my kids.
True?
Yeah. I think it's less of a flex as they get older, right? They're not sharing the same house and the same competition for their parents' attention right now. So, and they get along, they visit each other without parents even present. So that's nice to see, and it feels less jinxy to talk about it now at this point in our lives. So.
Is there any new flex you want to risk?
I don't know.
Kid got in college.
Yeah, kid got into college. I dragged him
him by his hair some of the time.
Exactly. That's 100% true. I dragged him there, but he got there. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Do you have a new one or the same one?
I was gonna talk about my daughter sleeping downstairs in the downstairs apartment that we finally got her down there, but we're having some construction done on it now to make it nice for her, and that has caused it to be unfit for sleeping in. So that is temporarily sort of iffy. So I will not flex about that just yet. But I guess I will say that my daughter is really, really good about driving people where they need to go. My son doesn't drive, and so she takes him to work and picks him up a lot. And now I can't drive because I broke my wrist, so she's taking me all over the place. And she does all this uncomplainingly, partially because the car she's driving now, which we had to get relatively recently, she's thrilled to be driving this car. She's super excited to be driving this car. So yes, I'll take you. I'll go there. I'll drive there. Can I?
Right.
It's like any opportunity to drive my car. Yes. But also, I worry a lot about the decisions I made when she was in school. I have some real doubts as to whether I did the right thing. And I know that sometimes I did the right thing just because the professionals who were recommending other things were just so bossy and unpleasant about it that they left me no choice but to say, I'll show you.
Right.
And then I think back and say, well, maybe. But the thing my daughter always tells me is that she was happy in school, everything was good, and if you hadn't done what you did, I would not be able to drive, which is probably true. If she had had a less challenging track in school, she probably would not have gotten there. So I guess, if nothing else, and despite all the other doubts I have, she's driving because of me. And she's driving well, and she's driving everywhere, and she is a huge, huge help to the family because of that. So I'll take that tiny mom flex. It's mostly a her flex, but my tiny part in it was making bad decisions. one positive outcome. Maybe not bad decisions. I think there was a choice of bad decision, and so I wonder whether the bad decision I picked was the bad decision I should have picked, or should I have picked one of the other bad decisions. Parenting, ladies and gentlemen, that's pretty much how it is.
Absolutely. Yes. Well, the other two episodes that I thought we could talk about were from 2022 and 2019. In 2019, we talked about habit breaking and habit forming. And then in 2022, we talked about natural consequences. And I thought those two go together because
they do kind of go together.
You could try to use natural consequences to break a kid's habit, but good luck with that.
Yeah,
what I have to say.
In my experience. Because there are unintentional consequences to natural consequences, and they disproportionately fall on the parent.
Yes.
So you send your kid to school without a coat just so he'll learn that he's cold, and then he gets sick and you have to take care of him. Or the school calls up and says, have you sent your child to school without this coat? We're gonna call Child's Protective Services against you. I don't know. It just seems like oftentimes the consequences of natural consequences are too big and not appreciated by the person they were intended for. So though I appreciate the idea, the execution. Sometimes. So you don't want to wear those shoes? Go to school barefoot. See how you like it.
Right. And then they get to the door.
The ice and snow.
Then they get to the door and the principal's like, you can't come in here without shoes.
My husband is always wanting to, force kids not to do things. And I'm like, I'm like always arguing for natural consequences. And then afterwards thinking, it's not going to work. But just let her eat anything she wants. And if she gains a lot of weight, then she won't like it. But she doesn't mind it. So now what do we do? Yeah,
I mean, that's the biggest thing, I think, is that so often the natural consequence, the kid doesn't care.
Yeah.
So if you let them stay up super late so that they'll be tired the next day, so that then they'll learn that they need to go to bed earlier. No one's learned that in the history of humankind, Even
we parents still have to work on it.
Exactly. Everybody does.
Yeah.
Who amongst us has not
absolutely
stayed up way too late and then regretted it the next day?
Yes.
Everyone.
I know so deeply well that if I fall asleep on the couch, I'm going to regret it. I'm either going to go to bed at a ridiculous hour, or I'm going to sleep all night on the couch and I'm going to wake up stiff, and the quality of sleep is not as good. I know this, and yet I do it all the time.
What is a habit that you are unable to break.
It's a habit that I need to break, but a habit that I have strongly formed.
Yes.
And the couch is so comfortable, and it whispers in my ear, just close your eyes for a minute, it'll be fine.
Right.
Put this blanket over you. It won't lull you to sleep.
No, not at all.
I know it. Yeah, I've been trying to form new habits, and I do okay for a while, and then I always slip.
Yeah, you were doing good with going to bed early and getting up to do your rosary.
I blame my broken wrist. That's what did it. That's what threw it off.
That threw everything off.
I was not working for a while, so I didn't have the reasons to be doing what I was doing, and I just feel tired at the end of the day just from healing, I guess.
Yeah.
So I keep every day I say, this is the day I will start my new habit. I will go back to that old habit that I liked. That was a good habit.
Right.
Trying to look at less social media because I know it's bad for me, and yet it's always right there.
It sure is.
If you just look for a minute, you won't fall down a rabbit hole of watching Big Bang Theory clips for 2 hours. No, not this time. Not yet.
I once I watched this funny clip of Jason Kelce and his little daughter, and now it's just Jason and Travis Kelce videos all the time, which I don't watch them. I really don't, but they just serve them up. They serve them up and serve them up and serve them up.
They just, it's so clear that anytime you click on anything ever, anywhere, you will be getting that for the rest of your life.
Yep.
And I didn't mean it. Go away.
No, stop. Wait.
I have so much crap in my Facebook feed.
I take that back.
That I never asked for. Shouldn't your Facebook feed be just your friends and the places you're following? I have endless old TV show things that just keep popping up. And every now and then I take a second and look at it, and that means I get 500 more.
Yeah, you just reinforced
We noticed
it.
that you dallied for a moment. Gosh forbid, hit the button to play a video. No!
You'll never live it down.
And the things that I follow. Is there a setting for that on Facebook? No, there is not. Because we are the product.
Yep.
As is often said. If it's free to use, you are the product.
Yep.
So we're going to start charging for the podcast because we don't want you guys to feel bad. We don't consider you a product.
Join our Patreon.
But yes.
That we don't have.
We don't have a Patreon. We're not pushing that. Just want you to listen to everything, including the ads, and then just let the thing run so we get like 500 listens. That'd be good. Mm-hmm. You'd do that for us, wouldn't you?
It's not hard.
We promise we won't just pop up on your Facebook feed. Well, maybe we do. I don't know.
Maybe we do.
Yeah. Not enough. Facebook would like us to do it more. We could.
They would like us to pay for it.
I'm sure we could harass you all for a fee.
Right.
But not us. We're proud.
We will not.
Not this week anyway. So just to keep that promise for now, let's say that's it for the Parenting Roundabout Podcast Weekly Roundup. You can find all our episodes on Spreaker, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, or wherever you get your podcasts. You can find recaps, links, and an opportunity to comment on our website at parentingroundabout.com. You can also talk to us on our Facebook page, on Instagram, or on Twitter, where you'll find us at Roundabout Chat. And please visit our Amazon shop at amazon.com/shop/mamatude, where you can find links to a lot of the things we've talked about over the years. We'll see you back here next Tuesday. Goodbye, Catherine.
Bye, Terri.
Bye, everybody.